Hi, my name's Kevin Hicks. Welcome to my YouTube channel, The History Squad. Now today's video, call it what you will, is very short and it's been requested by Sandy Higgins, one of my Patreon members, on how do I prepare my bows for shooting. And it's all very straightforward. So I've got one or two tips. Now don't forget, I've been shooting for, I suppose, including my childhood, 60 years. But professionally, 25, 30 years. So I know one or two little things, but this is how I do it. Don't get confused if there are professional bowyers and fletchers, what they do. This is what Kevin does. First of all, always keep your bow in a bag. Mine's a nice linen bag. And I was told many years ago, don't lean it against stone. Now, some say you should have it horizontal, some upright. Mine are leaned in a corner, quite happy against wood down in my basement. Now let's remove the sleeve. Now this is my old bow, 20 years old, and this was my mainstay at Warwick Castle. I have a string keeper here, which is very simple. It's actually the top of a thumb from a gardening glove. That's all it is. Didn't need to spend a lot of money on it. Now, to prepare my bow, I'm going to take the string off. Now, when you do this, just check the knot. Is it going through? Is it all right? This one, still in good condition. So perhaps another season with this bowstring. Now, when you take him off, don't just throw him down. Look after him. Yeah, your string is as important as your bow. Now, I've got a couple of kinks here, so I shall be checking those out. Yeah, they're all right. So lay my string down. Now this bow, let's measure him up, because I've got people saying, oh, that's such a weak bow. So at the center, it is in circumference 4.5 inches, just under. A bit further up on the limbs, it's just over 3.5 inches. This is Kev's bow. People say, what's the poundage of your bow? I don't care. When it was made, I think it was way up there, but I don't care. This is Kev's bow. Now let's have a look at what we've got. So 20 odd years of shooting. So we have the heartwood, the sapwood. And if anybody sees my bow, they say, oh, you've got woodworm. No, these are the nicks from thousands of arrows I've shot on the speed shoots at Warwick Castle and other places. This is just damage and you can live with it. So let's start up here. The horn knocks. I've replaced these because these take an awful lot of strain. So I have replaced them. It's an easy job. You can either buy them as they are or you can buy a piece of horn and fashion it. Me, being me, I just simply buy replacements. But there's some interesting things about this bow. I've shot so many arrows that I was wearing a groove, almost the depth of an arrow. So I bought a piece of mother of pearl from the famous Richard Head Longbows and inserted it there. But it's these bits I want to show you. This being a yew bow, the heart and the sapwood. The sapwood will sometimes lift. It's just a tiny little split, up it comes. Glue the beggar down and then bind over it. Once you've glued the binding in, then wax it, treat it as part of the bow. This, as I say, has lasted me for well over 20 years and I'm very proud of this bow. And now, looking at it, checking it all out, I'm quite happy with it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to oil it. And this is something I am very religious about. And I'll do it 2 or 3 times a year. All your bowyers have told me, you know, oil it until it kicks it back. Now what I use is nice artist linseed oil. This is pure. Equal measures. It's like mixing medicine, isn't it? And here we have the turpentine, the dangerous, watch it, it's poisonous stuff. So do me a favour, don't drink this. Put the 2 in. Now I'm going to put the caps back on because I'm afraid I'm clumsy and I know me, I'll knock it over. Give it a stir. Bit of the old paper here. Nothing special. I don't use a brush. I just use a bit of paper, dip it in, and I liberally spread it on all over the repairs, the horn knocks, really wet it. What you can do, if you've got a very dry bow, is you can actually drop this, squeeze it on there and let it sit for an hour or two. Let the wood soak it in, covering those knocks. And all the while, I'm checking the bow out. And this is one of the lovely things, is get to know your bow. Get to know all of those little nooks, those little knocks, especially if it's a self bow, you know, a yew bow. Now, simply turn him over. I'm doing the side here. And I really am soaking it in. It's important. And I think it was Don Adams who actually said that the bow will kick back. It won't soak anymore. So if you've got a new bow and it's dry, literally soak it in that oil until it kicks back. It doesn't want any more. And as you can see, a lot of the oil on my bow here, it sits on the surface because this is regularly oiled. And I've just got it set on a bit of leather in between two vices here. You don't need fancy stuff, do you? You know, people buy all kinds of things. You know, they buy supports, they buy racks, they buy this. I learned very early on, lean your bows in the corner. Richard Head says, don't lean them against stone. So I don't lean them against stone. That's pretty much it now. Here we go. So I will leave this bow. Now I've got a bit of a scratch there. I'll have a look at this. No, that's all right. It's just a mark on the wood. And I'm going to leave him in the corner to dry. That's the strange thing, because it doesn't actually really dry. So we've let my main shooting bow soak a little bit. And there's a couple of dry spots. So I'm just making sure there's plenty of oil around it. Now while we're on this, most importantly, when you string this, if you want my opinion, don't do it the way they did with knights in armour. I started off shooting the bow and stringing him with my foot, with the bow against my foot. Let me show you. I'm not going to do it because it's how I actually broke a bow. So in the old days, put the foot of the bow in there, hold it, push him back, and then slip up the string. Don't do that. Get yourself a piece of cord strong enough to support the bow, and we'll hook him in. If there's not an extra groove in your horn knocks like this, so you've got a second groove there on the top, you need to put one in. So we've looped the stringer over the second groove. We bring him round, put my foot dead center, bring him up, loop on that string. And the very last thing I'm going to do, get myself a bit of beeswax and wax that string. And while I'm doing it, check that string out. Make sure that string and the serving here is okay. I've already checked the knot. There we go. Finally, fist smell just slightly under, so I would remove the string and twist him up if I was going to shoot, just to bring him up a little bit. But that is, my bow is nicely oiled, so am I. The string is good and waxed, and that's really all you need to know. This is how I do it. Other people probably do it differently, but hey. So, I hope you found that video helpful, you bow people out there. If you did, thumbs up, like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to turn on the notifications so you know what videos are coming down the line. But for now, thank you very much, and bye-bye.